Top 10 mythical islands in the world. Do you know that Earth houses thousands of islands? There are several islands that serve as ideal vacation spots, but yeah, still there are some with mythical background. Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to go over the top 10 mythical islands in the world, so without further ado, let's get into it. Number 10. Thule. Thule was the northernmost point of the known world to the Greeks and Romans. It first appears in a lost work by the Greek explorer Pytheas, who is said to have discovered it in the 4th century BC. Pytheas has led many people astray by saying that he traversed the whole of Britain on foot and telling us about Thule, those regions in which there was no longer any proper land, sea, or air, but a sort of mixture of all three of the consistency of a jellyfish in which one can neither walk nor sail, holding everything together, so to speak, writes Polybius. Later, scholars interpreted Thule to be the Orkneys, Shetlands, Iceland, or possibly Norway, whereas the Nazis believed Thule to be the ancient homeland of the Aryan race. Number 9. Island of Flame. The Island of Flame, also known as the Island of Peace, was the magical birthplace of the gods and a part of Arius's kingdom. In ancient Egyptian mythology, it was said to have emerged from primordial waters and to lie far to the east, beyond the boundaries of the living world. It was a place of everlasting light associated with the rising sun. Number 8. Avalon. Avalon is first mentioned in Geoffrey of Monmouth's 12th century Historia Regime Britannia as the location where the legendary King Arthur's sword is forged and where he is sent to recover after being wounded in battle. Arthur's half-sister, sorceress Morgan Le Fay, and her 8 sisters were said to rule the island. Avalon was associated with Glastonbury of Somerset beginning in the 12th century, connected with Celtic legends about a paradisical island of glass. Monks at Glastonbury Abbey claim to have discovered Arthur's bones in the 12th century, but later historians believe that their discovery was a publicity stunt to raise funds for abbey repairs. Number 7. St. Brendan's Isle. This land was said to have been discovered in 512 by Irish abbot and traveler St. Brendan and his followers in the North Atlantic somewhere west of North Africa. Brendan rose to prominence following the publication of the Latin Navigation of St. Brendan. This 8th/9th century text described his voyage to the Atlantic Ocean in search of the beautiful Land of Promise. The book became a medieval bestseller, earning the saint the moniker Brendan the Navigator. The island was said to be densely forested with abundant fruits and flowers. Tales of St. Brendan's Isle inspired Christopher Columbus and had a significant impact on medieval cartography. Sightings were reported back to the 18th century. Number 6. Baralcoo. Among the indigenous Australians of the Yolngu culture, Baralcoo or Brelcoo is the island of the dead. The island holds a central place in the Yolngu cosmology. It is where the creator's spirit, Barnambir, is said to live before rising into the sky as the planet Venus each morning. Baralcoo is also the spot where the 3 siblings who created the landscape of Australia, the Django wool, originated. The island supposedly lies to the east of Arnhem Island in northern Australia, and the Yolngu believe their souls return there after death. Number 5. High Brazil. High Brazil, also known as Country o Brisal, Brazil Rock, and by many other names, is one of the many mythical islands of Irish folklore, but one that has made several appearances on real maps. Like Atlantis in the Mediterranean, Brazil was said to be a place of perfect contentment and immortality. It was also Brisal's domain, as the High King of the world held court there every 7 years. Brisal could make the island rise or sink as he pleased, and he usually only let the island be visible when his court was in full swing. Legend has it that Brazil is located where the sun touches the horizon, or immediately on its other side, usually close enough to see, but too far to visit. It was first depicted on a map in 1325 by Genoese cartographer Dall'Ordo, who described it as a large area southwest of Ireland. Later maps shifted it to the west. It was usually depicted as a near-perfect circle divided by a river. Several explorers sought the island and some, including Italian navigator John Cabot, claimed to have discovered it. Scholars now believe that Brazil was a reference to Baffin Island, or to now sunken lands only visible when sea levels were lower during the last ice age. Or it was an optical illusion created by layers of hot and cold air refracting light rays. Number 4. Aea. Circe, the goddess of magic, is said to live on Aea, a floating island in Greek mythology. Circe is said to have spent her time on the island which her father, the sun, had given to her, waiting for mortal sailors to land so she could seduce them. She would then turn them into pigs, according to legend. Some classical scholars have identified Aea as the Cape Circeum Peninsula on Italy's western coast, which may or may not have been an island during Homer's time, owing to the marshes surrounding its base. Number 3. Atlantis. Plato first mentioned Atlantis, which was said to be a large island in the Atlantic Ocean to the west of the Pillars of Hercules. It was said to be a peaceful but powerful kingdom lost beneath the waves after the gods unleashed a violent earthquake as punishment for waging war against Athens. Many attempts have been made to identify the island, which may have been entirely the creation of Plato's imagination. Some archaeologists associate it with the Minoan island of Saturnine, north of Crete, whose center collapsed around 1500 BC after a volcanic eruption and earthquake. Number 2. Antillia. Antillia, also known as the Island of Seven Cities, was a 15th century cartographic phenomenon located far west of Spain and Portugal. Its existence is linked to an Iberian legend. In the 8th century, 7 Visigothic bishops and their parishioners fled Muslim conquerors, sailing west and eventually discovering an island where they established 7 settlements. The bishops set fire to their ships, ensuring that they would never return to their former homeland. According to some versions of the legend, many people have visited Antillia, but no one has ever left. In other versions of the story, sailors can see the island from afar, but it always vanishes when they get close. Despite its non-existence, Spain and Portugal once fought over it, possibly because its beaches were said to be strewn with precious metals. When the North Atlantic was better mapped in the late 15th centuries, references to Antillia faded, though it did give rise to the Spanish Antilles. Number 1. Isle of Demons. This landmass, sometimes depicted as 2 islands, appeared on the 16th century and early 17th century maps and was named after the mysterious cries and groans mariners reported hearing through the mist. The island gained a more solid identity after 1542, when the King of France directed nobleman and adventurer Jean-François Roberval to establish settlements along the North Atlantic coast. Marguerite de la Roque de Roberval, his niece, accompanied him on the voyage, but she began a passionate affair with one of Roberval's officers. Roberval, enraged, stranded his niece and possibly the officer, accounts differ, as well as her nurse on an unspecified Isle of Demons in the St. Lawrence River. Marguerite gave birth on the island, but both the child and Marguerite's lover and nurse died. On the other hand, Marguerite managed to survive alone for several years by using her firearm against the wild beasts. After being rescued by Basque fishermen and returning to France, she reported being plagued by abominably and unutterably hideous beasts or other shapes, the brood of hell howling in baffled fury. Marguerite's story has been told in various historical accounts, including versions by Franciscan friar André Thevet and the Queen of Navarre. Still, the precise location of the Isle of Demons, where she landed, has never been determined. Donald Johnson, a maritime historian and veteran Atlantic sailor, believes he has identified it as Fichot Island in the Strait of Belle Isle at Newfoundland's northern tip. Johnson points out that Fichot Island is on Roberval's path and is home to breeding colony of gannets, a type of seabird whose guttural cries, heard only during breeding, may have been misinterpreted as demon cries. With that being said, here we come to the end of our video. I hope you liked this video. If so, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you never miss any video. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Thanks for watching.